Yay! Thank you for showing up on your mat today. I'm finding it quite difficult to teach in front of a camera. I love teaching people, and when you're in front of a camera and there's no students here apart from yourself, I forget everything. So today I'm going to improvise and we'll just have fun. Please feel free to do as little or as much as you want, or to create your own practice out of what I share with you. I just love sharing and I love practicing, so just enjoy. And if you want to lie down for the whole session, please do, or create your own little sequence. Please take a moment to either come to sitting or lying down, your choice always, and let yourself arrive on your mat. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do. If not, just lower your gaze and let your gaze soften down into Shiva Seal. And for a moment, feel that real stillness arrive as you arrive. I'd like to continue reading from the Radiant Sutras by Lauren Roche. Experience the sustenance of the body and the world is made up of vibrating particles, and these particles made up of even finer energies. Drifting more deeply, feel into these particles as it condenses from infinity and dissolves back into it continuously. Noticing this, breathe easily, with infinity dancing everywhere. Cherish the quiet sounds of your breathing as you fall asleep with each exhalation. Fall deeper into the center of your heart, thus fall into freedom as you dream. Know the entire universe as a vast arena within which your mind can play endlessly. Playing, let your awareness be everywhere at once. Planets, stars, swirling galaxies, and all the subatomic motes are dancing within you. Enter that rhythm. Descend into the space between beats. Dissolve into intimacy with the dancing one. The air I am breathing was exhaled in ecstasy by an ancient sun. This earth I am standing on was born of cosmic fire. The blood flowing through my veins is as salty as the primordial ocean. The space permeating my body is infinite as a space all around. Above, below, to all sides and within, the elements of the universe are engaged in their ceremony of delight. Breathing out, let go and fall into knowing of all creation as existing within space, and you are absorbed in that vibrant, empty fullness. In this moment, your body is intimate with space, exchanging essence for essence, balancing in the midst of vast emptiness. Know utter freedom. So take a moment if you're lying down to coming up to sitting. You may want to raise your hips by placing a bolster or bricks under your hips. Or if you're kneeling, you may want to make yourself as comfortable as possible. We're going to take a mudra called Sanmukhi Mudra, which allows us to dissolve one of our senses, or quite a few of our senses, And please don't apply pressure into the ears if you have an ear infection or it doesn't feel right. The placement of the hands is the forefingers rest onto your eyelids gently, no pressure. The middle fingers rest on the side of the nose. The ring finger lands and baby finger, where they do, on the face. The elbows are lifted at the height of your shoulders and the thumbs gently pressed or not into the ears so that you can hear the sound of your breath. And I'd like us to spend a few moments listening and concentrating on the rhythm of your breath, finding a rhythm of inhale, exhale the same length. As you next availably exhale, bring the palms of the hands softly to touch. Let the thumbs connect with the breastbone. Broaden and lift the collarbones. Lengthen the back of the skull, soften the front of the skull. Allow the mouth to open, the teeth to part, the tongue to drop heavy on the floor of the mouth, and you can apply the tip of the tongue to the upper palate, just behind the two front teeth if it feels okay. And have your lips softly sealed, not tight. As we drop total awareness down into our body and ask, how do I feel? How do you feel today? And then let's request a vow, a commitment for our practice using the sacred words of I am, and one word or a sentence that resonates with your heart, silently said 3 times right now. Your next available exhale, we softly bow our heads to our heart. If your eyes are closed, blink them open, and as you do, open your arms really wide. Take an inhale. As you exhale, wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug round the back of the shoulders. Do that one more time. Inhale wide. Other arm on top, exhale round and hug. And then slowly bring yourself into child's pose. onto your hands and knees. So coming onto hands and knees, either turning the palms to face uppermost, or if it feels more suitable, have the arms down by the sides of the hips. If the forehead doesn't touch the floor, rest your forehead onto your arms. So as we next inhale, engage your arms forward, palms are down, and just touch the floor. And feel the floor underneath your hands. And then on your inhale, draw yourself in slow motion forward. And start to bring the hips down a little forward and raise the chest up. And as you exhale, slowly press the hips back onto your heels and soften your neck. Inhale forward into a very gentle rocking motion. Exhaling back. Please go at your own speed, letting your breath move you. So it feels more appropriate, or your breath is a little quicker, moving forward and back at that speed. Being very aware of the foundation under your body, your hands, your shins, the top of your feet. You may want to make the movement smaller, you may want to increase the movement. So you're almost coming into a back bend, into an upward dog. Or you may want to keep it very small. Adding in cat and cow, opening the front of the spine and rounding the back of the spine. And then on our last one, just pause and step your hands back a little more underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Support the space between the shoulder blades, lift the knees an inch off the floor. Press back through the soles of the feet, support the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. Place the knees down, release the hips, rest the wrists, by turning the palms up. Palms down, let's repeat. All fours, toes tuck, raise the knees. And this time press the hips up and back into downward facing dog. You may want to play around in your downward dog. You may want to pivot and stretch the sides of the body. So you're literally pivoting from side to side. You may want to walk the dog. You may need to rest your dog. You may want to stay in downward dog. Again, be creative in your practice. Find the soft sensation of your breath. Root down through your foundation, rise the peak of your hips to the sky. Create space from your ears to your shoulders. And then look forward, raise the heels, just have a little move on the spot, checking in with our hinge joints of our ankles and our knees. Your choice, either stepping your feet forward between the hands or giving yourself a little jump. Feet hip width apart. Settle the hips down and just rest the forearms onto the thighs. Hands into prayer. We're going to have this as one of our asanas today, a bit of a hybrid resting forward bend chair pose. And then pressing down through the roots of the feet, the mounds of the big toe joints. Raise up into chair pose, arms rise, and then follow on through. Inhale to rise. Exhale, palms touch, bring them to your heart, mountain pose. Pause in the pose, not in the breath. So just bring your right knee up. Just for a moment, hold it. Hold it with the left hand. Take the right hand to the opposite shoulder. Press down through the left foot. And then let's change sides. So we raise the left knee, hold it with two hands initially. And then release the left hand touches the right shoulder. And either moving slowly or trying that a little bit quicker. Opposite hand to knee, other hand to shoulder. With the breath. Opposite hand to knee, opposite hand to shoulder. And just remember that movement. So spend a few more moments repeating that movement. We'll come to stand into mountain pose. So as we inhale, arms sweep up. Let's just swing down gently. Swing down and sweep up. And again, play. If you wish to make this quite active and a little bit more movement, do so. Or if you just need to slow it down today, slow it down. But let your breath move you. Stay with a strong foundation under your feet. The knees always tracking the toes. Next, inhale, let's pause into our hybrid pose. Weight a little into the hips and heels more than the toes. Arms rise for chair. And step your left leg back into a high runner's lunge. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, rise, and then pivot the back foot down in preparation for Virabhadrasana 2. Let's pause in the pose. Drishti, your gaze is stable and steady. Back thigh hugging the bones. Feet rooted down. Left hand, left hip rising up. Right arm rises up. Preparation for triangle. Left hip rises, front body floats down. Hand to your shin or using a brick. Left arm to the sky, gaze up as we extend that left arm up or beyond to the horizon. Have a sense that we can spread those feet away from each other. And as you do, rise up and step back into mountain pose. Second side. Sweep up, inhale, and down. Inhale. Hybrid pose, elbows to forelegs. Inhale to chair. Exhale, step right leg back into a single runner's lunge. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward. pivot the back foot down, preparation for Virabhadrasana 2. We're here for about 3 breaths. Right hand to right hip. Raise left arm to the sky as you straighten the left leg. The right hip lifts, the left hip softens, and we lengthen down into triangle pose. Hand to bricks or shin as we raise right arm to the sky or forward into the horizon. Once again, 3 breaths. Have that sensation of spreading actively the feet away as we rise up, and then step the back foot in to the front. Come back into mountain. Inhale soft, long and deep. Exhale soft, long and deep. So let's take our tree pose. As we transfer the weight over towards the right foot, have a real sense that there's no dropping and dumping into that hip. Pick up the leg, externally rotate the thigh out to the side. Keep it low or keep it high. Hands to your heart. You need some support, remain close to some support, or open the arms. Play around with it. If you wish to close your eyes, please do. Your hands may come down into cactus arms or remain in front of your heart. You may want to take more of a back bend and embrace that sense of balance in your life. If you fall, get yourself back up again. Next available inhale, hands come down, foot comes down. Transfer the weight subtly into the left foot. Try not to hitch up the right as we hold it. We externally rotate. We place the foot above or below the left knee, and your hands come to your heart. They stay there. Cactus arms as an option. Extended arms also as an option. Option to close your eyes or take it a little deeper into a back bend. Find your foundation. Observe the sensation of your breath. Let your next inhale bring it all the way back down. Slowly releasing the right foot down to the ground. Transferring your weight back evenly to 2 feet. So turning to the long side of your mat, I'm just going to take a wide angle pose. Feet are parallel. Padottasana, wide angle forward bend. Please place the hands onto the crease at the top of the hips and soften your knees. And as you do, lengthen the spine out of the base of your pelvis. Lengthening the back of the skull, softening the front of the skull. Rooting down with your feet, take a deep, long inhale. And using your exhale, forward fold. Hands touch the floor, let the hands touch the floor. If not, please choose to use brick as an option to support and raise the floor higher, up to you. Elbows can hug in. If you wish to work a little deeper into the shoulders, please find the clasp of Kesbana Mudra onto the lower back. Draw your hands up the spine and extending the arms into this mudra, into your forward fold. taking about 3 breaths here, long, slow, deep inhales and exhales. Your hands come back down to your bricks or to the floor and raising the head and heart halfway. Let's windmill the right arm to the sky as we rotate the whole of our trunk container to the right. Inhale, release, and windmill on your exhale towards the second side. Inhale, release. Exhale, windmill 1 breath right. Exhale, release. Inhale. And just spend a few moments floating, opening, rotating our container of a trunk from side to side, if it feels right. Hands slowly release down, soften your knees. Hands back to the thighs, head, chest, and trunk. Extend up. And then lift your heels and bring the heels in, and we have external rotation of the columns of our legs as we sit down into goddess pose. As my right forearm rests onto my right thigh, I may choose to extend my left arm to the sky. I may choose to go a little lower down, reaching that right arm on the inner right shin for a deeper opening of the hips. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh, right arm to the sky, or choosing to open the hips a little deeper by reaching down. When you're next ready to inhale, hands come back to your heart, press down to rise. And then toe heel, feet all the way back in. To stand at the front of the mat. So let's come down to the floor for dolphin, for child's pose, for opening the chest, and for sphinx, and just a few movements in the upper back as well. With dolphin, choose to interlace the hands just like we did in our shoulder opener. Placing your elbows no wider than your shoulders, step your knees in a little bit. Tuck the toes under. This may be your dolphin. You wish to move on, press the forearms forward and let the hips rise to the sky. You may find you need to soften your knees. You may find you can straighten the knees. Please relax the back of the neck. Please ungrip slightly the grip of your knuckles. Your next available inhale, knees drop down slowly to the floor. And in that sensation of dropping them down, just be very aware that they land. And you can stretch the soles of the feet. And then lay the top of the feet down on the floor. Roll up. And on your inhale, keep your hips onto your heels. And just spread and broaden the chest, keeping the gaze down to the front of the mat. your next exhale, coming down into your Sphinx pose, laying your forearms down, stepping your legs back, drop your knees, top of the feet, and rise the upper body for Sphinx. As you exhale, round the back of the upper shoulder blades, and spend a few moments inhaling to open into Sphinx, and broadening across the back of the shoulders with an exhale. Inhale to open, lifting and broadening the shoulders and rounding the back of the shoulders with an exhale. If you wish to get yourself back into dolphin this way, interlace the hands, tuck your toes under. If you wish to try and come back from your dolphin, from Sphinx, interlace the hands, keep your knees on the floor, tuck your toes under, raise the pelvis, walk your knees in a little bit, and let's repeat. So pressing through your forearms, take an inhale. On your exhale, raise the hips up towards the sky. Create space from shoulders to ears, soft or straight knees. Take 2 or 3 breaths here, and as you inhale, lift your heels, drop the knees. Just be really aware of the sensation of the knees once again connecting down and stretching the soles of your feet. Lay the top of your feet down to the floor, roll up, and on your inhale, lift and broaden the chest. Keep your gaze down. Bringing yourself forward into Sphinx pose, laying the forearms down, stepping back into forearm plank. Your knees drop, the top of the feet lay down, and we rise, opening and broadening the chest. Exhale, round, and create space between the shoulder blades. Twice more, inhaling, open. Exhaling round. And then bring your body to lie flat down. Resting your forehead onto the back of the hands, bending your knees. Just sway the legs softly from side to side. Hands under your shoulders, push yourself back onto your knees. If you need some support under the knees, please have that support now. As you can see, I'm practicing in the sun, and it's getting rather hot. So do be careful if you're practicing in the sun and you sweat on your yoga mat, because you need a little bit of grip there. So we're just going to place one hand behind our back and one arm lifts up. So a variation of camel pose. Anchor your shins to the floor, lengthen the back of the tailbone down, lift the front of the pelvis up so your pelvis is neutral right now. Left hand behind back, right arm raised to the sky. Very simple movement. As we exhale, we sit down into child's pose. Hand comes down behind your back. On your inhale, rise up, and the other arm rises and reaches to the sky. So this is option 1. Forward, and then swap arms, and you're just reaching up. Exhaling down, inhaling, rise. Exhaling down, inhaling, rising. If you wish to have a different option, hand comes to the ankle and we open the front body just a little bit more. So as we float down, the hand touches the heel and the other arm rises. We come up. Exhaling down. Inhale to rise. And once again, moving slowly, moving awarely, moving safely, moving with the breath. All the principles of safety and softness and sweetness as we enjoy moving our bodies with the breath. Whichever option you choose, just make sure you balance both sides. And then come down to lie on your belly. We'll just do one more back bend, bow pose. Option 1, hands down by the sides of your body, pelvis firm to the ground, knees are bent, raising chest, raising legs. This is option 1. Option 2, you may be able to reach the top of your feet or ankles. Flex the feet, press the pelvis down, letting the inhale raise you this way. Whichever option you choose, stay for 2 to 3 breaths. Please don't choose to thrust the head back. Keep the back of the skull happy and long. Next available exhale, bring yourself slowly down. Take a moment to adjust your posture into kneeling. Take a moment from kneeling to come sit down onto your hips. So always just have a moment in between transitioning from back bends into forward bends. Just have a moment just to pause, to be, to adjust, to get back into your body once again, checking in. So forward fold. Soft or straight knees. Hands down by the sides of your hips. Seated forward fold. Be very conscious of opening and broadening the chest and just pausing for a moment as we sit in staff pose. Connecting the back of the body to the back of our mat, the front of our body to the front of our mat, and the sides of our body to the sides of our mat, and the length of your spine in between. Raising the arms on your inhale and forward fold on your next available exhale. Choosing to find a grip of a strap or your feet, or just letting the arms rest. Allow yourself to be here for 2 to 5 breaths. And hands come back behind you. And option 1, stay here. Lift and open and broad the front of the chest. Option 2, you can take tabletop, static tabletop, or you can choose to raise the hips. Or option 3, you can choose to take full back incline pose, opening and broadening the chest as you raise the hips and come into the full pose. Your next exhale, you come down. And then just take a moment to adjust yourself to lie down onto your back. And take the feet the width of your yoga mat, and your knees drop gently in together. And be very conscious of the mass of your back just gently dropping down to the earth. Let's rotate the spine to neutralize the spine as we windscreen wiper both legs over towards the left. Our head rotates right and come back to center, and just spend a few moments rotating the legs one way, the head and the trunk the other way with the breath. Each time you come back to center, check the back body is touching your yoga mat. Make sure you've completed even sides, and then bring both knees onto your chest and give them a hug. As we then prepare ourselves for Shavasana, corpse pose, lying yourself out in the way that you can be as comfortable as you wish. And stay here for as little or as long as you like. Closing your eyes, opening your mouth, opening your lips, and letting the skin and the muscles release their grip from the bones. Setting your breath free. Rest here in stillness.